Hey, Dethroning Tribe. It's Joanna Kleinman. It's 9:30 on Monday night. I thought I would come on and do a quick live video for you all because this month in Dethroning Your Inner Critic, we're talking all about the body. And some of you out there have maybe heard me lecture about this at times, so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But I thought that I would just, hi Al, thanks for watching. So I thought I would just come on and kind of share a little bit about my own history of my relationship with my body. So I was always an avid exerciser. I got into exercise probably when I was about 13. And it was because, of course, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to look like a supermodel, right? I became kind of obsessed with body image. And so I worked out throughout my teens. And when I hit my early 20s, somebody got me into running. And I remember I ran my first mile. I was so proud of myself. And I kept running. And then I ended up running a 5K. And, it was, so exciting because I was never a runner before. I was probably about 23 when I did that. And then I was running for a few years and I started running with other people. And it became sort of this obsessional thing where 3.5 miles wasn't enough and I needed to push myself for 5. And then at 5 miles, I needed to push myself to run faster. And then I needed to do a 10K. And then I almost became obsessional about running. Hey, Sarah. How are you? Thanks for watching. So I started getting into this relationship with running where I had to constantly push myself. I had to constantly beat other people. I had to constantly figure out how I could get faster and stronger and run further. And when I was in my late 20s, right? I started getting hip pain. And I started getting knee pain. And I didn't care. I just kept running through the pain. And I was wearing knee braces and pushing myself to run. And I was having hip pain. And it just didn't matter, right? Remember that old no pain, no gain? And so this went on for over a decade, right? I started getting into these intense boot camp classes. And again, just pushing through the pain. I would wake up with all these aches and pains. And when I hit 40 was when I really started kind of stepping back and taking a look at what all of this is for. And I had never really, look, my dog's sitting right next to me. That's Rosie. Say hi, Rosie. What I had never really realized until I swear I turned 40 is that my whole relationship with my body from the time that I was 13 was this punishing, punitive relationship where no matter what I was doing, it wasn't good enough, it wasn't fast enough, it wasn't far enough, and I would just keep trying to push myself more and more and more. And I would convince myself that this was a good thing, that this was, making me feel strong and making me feel, like I was in shape. And I had never realized before, I had been a runner for 15 years before I actually started to realize I hate running. I've always hated running. It's always been something that I've had to push myself to do. And I started even recognizing that I was in a bad mood when, right, if I knew that I had to run that day, it was like I would be cranky up until the run. And then I would push myself to do it. And then, of course, I'd feel a sense of accomplishment after. But like leading up to it, I hated it. So I wish it didn't take me until I was 40 to recognize this. But, I think it's important for all of us to kind of take a step back and look at the way that we are eating or exercising or the things that we're saying to ourselves about our bodies. And we may not even realize how punitive and hard and harsh we're being. For some of us, like if you had asked me, when I was 35, did I have a punitive relationship with my body? I would have said, no, I love my body. I run all the time and I do boot camp classes. But here's the truth. I really did have a punitive relationship with my body. So I guess what I'm trying to say to all of you out there is, what would it look like if you actually started designing a loving, nurturing love affair with your body, where you treated it with love and kindness and respect, right? What would you do to move your body if it was from a place of love and kindness and respect? What would you put into your body? What would be some of the things that you might start to eat, or you might stop eating, or the exercises that you might start to do or stop to do? I move my body all the time now, but I do things like yoga and I do things like walking. And if you had told me, even when I was 40, that I would be, someday I would be doing that instead of my running and boot camp classes, I would have thought you were crazy. So anyway, I hope that, you guys are watching our posts and gaining some freedom around those inner critic messages of your body. And thanks so much for watching. And if you feel so inclined, if you want to comment below and say one thing that you could do that would be consistent with a love affair with your body, I'd love to hear it. All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks for watching.